Have you ever noticed how one single thought, just one, can change your entire mood? You wake up feeling fine, and then a memory, a worry, a fear, or a conversation you wish you handled differently flashes through your mind, and suddenly you are tense or anxious or second guessing everything. It's amazing how quickly a single thought can pull you out of your center and into a story that may not even be true. And if you're anything like the women in my community, those who I work with, those who I collaborate with, women who feel deeply, care deeply, and think deeply, your mind can sometimes feel like an ocean, calm and peaceful one moment, and crashing with turbulent waves the next. What most of us were never taught was this: we're not actually experiencing life. We are experiencing our thoughts about life. And when those thoughts go unquestioned, they become stories, and the stories become beliefs, and the beliefs shape how you feel, react, and relate to the world around you. But those thoughts, they're not always accurate, they're not always wise, and they're not always aligned with your higher self or your soul or your wisdom. So today, in this moment of divine reset, we're going to explore how to gently step away from the noise, see your thoughts for what they truly are, and reconnect with the calm and clarity that's been within you all along. And as always, we'll conclude with a meditation to help you separate from the stories of your mind, soften your inner world, and return to the peace that's already within you. Let's begin. You're listening to A Moment of Divine Reset with spiritual life guide Lisa Hromada of loveistheseed.com, a soul nourishing space for spiritual life teachings, tips, and resources, helping you deepen your spiritual foundation and recalibrate your energy so you can reclaim your inner peace and experience the possibilities, power, and potential of living a soul aligned life. I'm Lisa Hromada, and I'm excited to share this moment with you today. Let's drop straight into the heart of this because if you're here, there is a good chance that your mind has been running the show lately. Maybe it's been louder, maybe it's been running faster, all these thoughts going through your mind. And I want to help you shift that. Maybe you've had a day where you woke up feeling okay, even hopeful, and then out of nowhere, a thought pulls you under, and suddenly you feel off, or ungrounded, or unsteady, less like yourself. If this sounds familiar, take a slow breath with me now, because what you're feeling isn't failure, it's simply your mind doing what minds do. Most of us were never taught how to meet that with clarity and compassion, and this is something that I've had to learn over time as well. So let's talk about what's actually going on. The deeper truth you were never shown, maybe growing up, the truth you only begin to hear when you finally slow down enough to listen to your inner wisdom, to listen to your soul, listen to your spirit, listen to source. So, one of the biggest inner shifts for me was understanding that we're rarely reacting to life itself. We're reacting to our thoughts and the meaning we've attached to it. That tension in your chest, that knot in your stomach, that sudden wave of emotion. It's usually not coming from the world around you, it's coming from your interpretation of the world around you. I remember a moment that made this truth unmistakably clear. A woman confronted me one day, convinced I had disrespected her. I could sense she was already overwhelmed by something unrelated, but in that moment, her mind had created a story about me. And I stayed calm and I responded with compassion. Yet she remained attached to her interpretation. Now, what surprised me was what happened after the conversation. Even though I stayed composed during the confrontation, hours later, my mind was still replaying it. How much I disliked conflict, what I could have said differently, and all the old stories that experience stirred up. And even though the moment had passed, my body reacted as if it were still happening. My heart rate rose, my energy dropped, and my stomach tightened. That's when it became clear to me. It wasn't the event that unsettled me, it was my thoughts about the event. Once you see that difference, things shift within you because you finally understand where your real power lies. Once I saw how quickly my mind could create an entire emotional experience long after the moment had passed, something clicked. Our minds assign meaning instantly, often without our awareness, and our bodies react as if that meaning is true. But not every thought is truth. Thoughts are possibilities, often imagined, maybe outdated, and maybe distorted. And when you begin to recognize that, life becomes a little less heavy, a little less personal, and a little less overwhelming. So many women tell me a version of something like this: my mind just doesn't stop. I can relate to this. And here's what I gently remind them, as well as myself sometimes when my mind gets going. Your mind is not supposed to stop. The mind produces thoughts the way your heart produces beats and your lungs produce breath. It's simply what it does. But the noise, the chatter, the recycled fears, that's not your soul speaking. And that's what we have to remind ourselves of. It's old programming, old conditioning, old protective patterns that don't match the woman you are becoming or who you want to become or how you want to live your life because you are constantly learning and evolving. The most freeing moment of your life is this one, when you realize that you are not the voice in your head. You are the one who hears it. Don't you love that? I believe I first heard that from Michael B. Beckwith. You are the awareness. You are the presence. You are the consciousness behind the thought. And once you know this and truly embody this and become aware of it, the mind loses its power over you. So let's try something together. Imagine that every thought you have is like a wave in the ocean. Some rise gently and fade without effort. Some swell with more force. Some crash hard and loud. But the ocean itself, which is you, remains vast, steady, and unchanged. The waves don't define the ocean. They come, they move, they dissolve, and the ocean simply allows them to pass. This is the spiritual truth beneath everything I've learned and share. Who you are is bigger than anything you think. Once you feel that, you stop identifying with every passing emotion, you stop believing every passing fear, and you stop assuming every thought is a reflection of reality. You remember, these are waves. I am the ocean. And that alone can shift your entire day. This is where meditation becomes so transformative. It's one of the simplest ways to step out of the story in your mind and return to the awareness beneath it all, the awareness that observes your thoughts rather than becoming them. Meditation is not about clearing your mind. You don't have to be in complete stillness. You don't have to silence everything or get it right. Meditation is the practice of just coming home to yourself. I often invite women to simply notice the space between their thoughts in meditation. Sit for a while, notice the space between your thoughts. The thoughts will come, acknowledge them, and then gently return to that space. This is where your soul slips through and reveals what's actually true. Meditation is the place where you remember you are not the story or the fear. You are the stillness that holds it all. When you stop believing every thought that shows up in your mind, you take things less seriously. You react with more steadiness and intention. You stop jumping to worst case scenarios. You return to your center more quickly. You feel less overwhelmed and less pulled by emotion. You speak with greater clarity and confidence. You trust yourself more deeply. And you feel more connected to God, to Source, to universal presence, your intuition, and your inner knowing. So let's practice returning to that truth. Let's quiet the noise, soften the story, and reconnect with the calm beneath it all. Let's now get still and go within. This is the time of a moment of divine reset where we do just that. We take a few minutes of stillness to recalibrate, reconnect, and reharmonize through meditation, affirmation, and visualization. To gently pull your attention away from the thoughts and stories that have tried to shape your day and guide you back to the truth of who you are. So let's turn inward. If you can, gently close your eyes and allow a deep breath in and release it out. Allow your shoulders to fall, your belly to soften. Feel the support beneath you, holding you so you don't have to hold yourself in this moment. Bring your attention to your heart space. Place your hand there if it feels comforting. Imagine your heart breathing. Soft in, soft out. Now begin to notice any thoughts passing through. Let each one drift in and out. You are the ocean. Your thoughts are the occasional waves. Feel yourself expanding beyond the old story, beyond the fear, beyond the noise. Now gently invite your source, your higher self, to meet you in this quiet space. You might whisper, "Beloved presence, help me see clearly. Help me notice the difference between my thoughts or stories I might be telling myself and the truth." Let your breath soften. Breathe in, I am the awareness. And breathing out, I release the stories. Breathe in, I am grounded. And breathing out, I am supported. Take a few quiet breaths and allow this spaciousness to settle into your being. And when it feels right, Softly open your eyes. Bring a slight smile to your face that you have just divinely reset something new in your life in this moment. And so it is. Have a beautiful day or a restful night's sleep. And as always, relax in the knowing.
We hope this episode and meditation offered you a sacred moment of reset. Thank you for giving yourself this time to reconnect within. Are you ready to create and live the divinely guided life intended for you? A life not bound by your past or tied to a specific future. A life beyond your fears and what-ifs, and filled with limitless possibilities. Living a life of fulfillment, joy, and deep connection is possible when you embrace a spiritual, solution-centered lifestyle. Through her transformational teachings and programs, spiritual life guide, founder of Love is the Seed, and the creator of the Divine Reset Experience, Lisa Hromada, empowers women to release inner limitations, reconnect with divine guidance, and open to more peace, joy, and self-acceptance in everyday life. Visit DivineResetExperience.com to explore and enroll in Lisa's Divine Reset Experience self-paced video course. That's DivineResetExperience.com, your invitation to realign, reconnect, and begin your own divine reset today.